Hello, my name is Amy.
Hi, and I'm Neil.
Welcome to Pimp My LinkedIn Profile. This is episode 7, I think. We are
Woohoo!
going strong. How are you today, Neil?
I'm great, Amy. I've just been back from a few days camping up in Harvey Bay with my kids, and we went whale watching, so I'm ready to go, raring to get back at it and pimp some more LinkedIn profiles. How have you been?
Absolutely wonderful. Enjoying the sunshine. Sorry for everyone on the other side of the world, but it's getting close to summer and it's beautiful.
Good stuff.
Today is the day of Brian Illand and Kylie Kiser. And I learnt a few days ago, her name is not Kylie Kiser. Sorry, Kylie. But we're going to start with Brian.
Let's
So
go.
let's have a look at this awesome man. So I believe this is a fellow friend of Neil's, a fellow countryman from
A
Ireland.
fellow countryman, yeah. Brian and I met last February in the Scottish Summit. We'd been connected for a little while before that.
Amazing. So I hadn't met Brian till last week, but I had a really interesting chat with him last week. And now I'm really biased because he's actually a really lovely man as well. So from the top, it's funny. He has a black and white photo. And this blew my mind because I have my phone screen in black and white and I thought it was my phone screen, but he's actually in black and white. What's the thoughts on black and white photos?
I think it works for Brian. Most people, it might not work so well. In his case, I think he gets away with it. He's got a rugged charm, I think, that works in black and white. But yeah, normally I'd say I prefer color. What about you?
You've heard it from Neil. He looks rugged. No, I think it works. It confused me, but it works. I like it, Brian. You stay black and white. I'm curious about where the place is, but I'm not going to do my stupid looking into the distance face that got screenshot last time. And I'm going to comment that it looks like Newcastle upon Tyne, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I'm pretty sure it's Belfast.
It looks like Newcastle upon Tyne.
It's not a great shot of Belfast, I've got to admit. I think is it the Odyssey Centre? It's down near the waterfront. Yeah, there are much better shots of Belfast. Unless Brian's taken this one himself, he owns the copyright and he didn't have any issues there. But I think if you want to take a picture of your home shot, make it one of the iconic shots. Belfast famous, for example, for the Harland and Wolff cranes, which shows off the shipyard history of.
Awesome. A history lesson and education and profiling. I like
I'm doing geography and doing the whole lot, Amy.
I know, yeah, all the things. Anyway, so we have the worst nemesis of the pipe heaven on his tagline. Lots of things going on. Brian is everything. He's gone for all the buzzwords, so I guess he's going to show up in a lot of searches. But yeah, I've taken on board your comments on the pipes, and I'd suggest maybe, I think the rule of 3. I always go with the rule of 3 for headlines, so I'd chop it down to the top 3. So maybe a technology strategist, something about the Power Platform, and also where he works.
Yeah, so he's missed out. He's got Kodak Ireland there on the right-hand side, but in lots of places in LinkedIn, it just shows up your headline, and we'll miss out that fact. And yeah, I think it's not quite clear what Brian wants to be known for. His clients are probably looking for a solution architect, maybe he's a development team lead. It's not quite clear there. And lots of people achieving their MCT this year, which is fantastic. Particularly
Yeah.
Microsoft's made it free. But I would reserve the MCT abbreviation only if you're really a professional trainer. So unless Brian's doing lots of public training classes or private training classes, you can keep that in your certifications, but maybe not part of your headline.
Awesome. So Brian's about, I actually quite like it. It's short and sweet, and all I would change is to put it into first person. So I am an experienced practice lead, but what he said I really like. It's straight to the point, and I love the last paragraph because this is what we had a chat about, is about this multiplier thing. And I think it shows a bit more about who he is as a person rather than just what his job is.
Yeah.
And it ties in really nice with his featured section. So he makes these really cool explainer videos, where they write stuff down and talk. Absolutely amazing. And all the things in his featured thing are a really nice mix around team building, technical, and also getting involved with the community. So I really like I look at this and I want Brian to lead my team in my practice.
Yeah, I agree. Great about section, nice and short, like you said, and differentiated. This idea of a multiplier. I'm curious, what is that? There's a book about it, obviously, something that Byron's passionate about. highlighting that in his about section. And his featured section, like you said, it gives off great examples of the media that Brian's produced and his community contributions as well.
Yeah, I really like it.
What's going on? He's an expert in software licensing. That's a brave topic to take on. Good on you, Brian.
Oh, that takes a certain kind of person. So he's also obviously very resilient.
Indeed.
In terms of his activity, he does a lot of liking and he posts his content. I think you could add a bit more value with comments because likes are quite passive. But I like the way he shares his content. So the way he shares his content, he puts some nice descriptions in around. He adds value rather than just posting a link and repeating the title. He adds value to that content by kind of summarizing what he's going to talk about in that post. So I really like the way he posts content. He communicates really, really well.
Yeah, good example.
Experience. I'd like to know more about his previous jobs. But again, I like the description he's got for the first one. He's got a really strong job history. It's always like he's been at a place for 5 or 6 years, and he's made a clear progression through his career. Like he's kind of followed that like standard, like what was it? The sky pie in the sky box of like career progression. It's really beautiful.
So I just bring some consistency there, Brian. In your description says you're a solution architect. Your title there says practice lead, and that kind of not contradicts, but it doesn't sit well with enterprise architect and team lead and things in your headline. So just sort of the job title that you want to convey and the value that you bring to your clients in the headline and those descriptions.
Good spot. Very good point. And we've got the user group lead in there as well. I mean,
what do you think of that, Amy?
Yeah. Oh, I still can't decide because I agree. If you don't put it there, it gets sunk all the way to the bottom.
Yep.
And if that's quite a lot about what you're about, then it's in the right place there. But it's not a job.
Yeah. You're right. It's not a job. I've got my podcast in a similar spot in my experience history as well. So I can't criticize Brian for doing the same thing. One tip, Brian, is if you're going to have a company in there called the Power Platform Belfast User Group, actually create a LinkedIn company page, because if I click on this, it goes nowhere. So LinkedIn just tries to do a search of other similar people, but actually go and create a company page for the Power Platform Belfast User Group, and that will sort that out. So then you can post content, upcoming meetings, or videos from previous meetings in there, and people can follow that page and get notified. So make some use of that if you're going to drop it into your experience history.
Nice. I like that. Licenses and certifications. Obviously, he's an MCT, so he can't get away with not doing exams. So high five for Brian with all his exams. I'm glad you are practicing what you preach. I'd love to know more in this Microsoft Certified Trainer one about what he trains in.
Yeah,
I think that would add a bit of value to say, I focus on Dynamics Power Platform, or does he teach FinOps? I'd love to know more about what he's a trainer in, and that's a good place to shout about it.
Just going back up through his education, he's just got Ulster University there as the university that he went to. Doesn't tell us what he studied there. I'm not quite sure if that's a deliberate, conscious act on Brian's behalf, or whether he's just admitted that by accident. It would be nice to know, Brian, if you did something interesting, or maybe it's a computer science degree, kind of backs up your professional qualifications as well.
Yeah. I'm curious. It might be like one of those degrees he's horrendously embarrassed about, like fashion.
Basket weaving.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And lastly, the skills are really well aligned to him. Solution architecture, CRM, and requirements analysis. Pretty well aligned to his job and what he does. But he's only got one recommendation.
I know, I saw that.
And whoever gave him the recommendation, he actually gave one back. It was really sad. So I think we all need to go and give Brian a bit of love.
Yeah, anybody in the YouTube world who knows Brian, who's worked with Brian, please go and visit his profile and give him a recommendation. He needs some love.
But yeah, overall, like I said, I read Brian's profile and I wanted him to come and manage my team. Like I wanted him to be saw him as a team leader, and I really liked it. And yes, the contact stuff.
Yep.
He's got everything on there. He's even got the old hanging out with the IM of Skype from back in the day, so we might want to retire that one. I love that his website is .me. I find those websites so cute. .me.
Yeah, it's great for a personal website where you want to share some of your professional work and maybe some of your personal life as well. Great idea to have a .me website.
Yep. So that is Brian. What do you think?
I love it. Just a couple of little hints and tips there, Brian. For me, it's a solid 8 out of 10. Amy, what about you?
I'm loving it. So I'm going to give it an 8.5.
Oh,
I really like
good
it.
stuff.
I know. Feeling the love today.
Yeah,
Well done,
great.
Brian.
Okay, well, let's see how we stack up with Kylie. So just coming across. So first thing to say, Amy, you fell into the trap. So Kylie's last name is Kiser. And not everybody pronounces it the way that Kylie would like to pronounce it. So Kylie, go into the LinkedIn mobile app, add the pronunciation of your own name in there. It'll appear in the web, the desktop web app as well, so that everybody can pronounce your name correctly. Other than that, I love the photograph. I had to zoom in. Let's zoom in because it's got the cutest little monkey on the shirt. Look at that. I have no idea. That's cool. I love it. I love the colors. So, I love people who take a bokeh background where it's kind of fuzzed out or out of focus background, standing in front of plants and trees. I don't know, just does it for me. Not quite sure about the lavender. Is that lavender kind of headline photograph? I'm not sure what that's adding, Kylie. Love your headline. Great example there of strong what you're about, what you do. You're missing out where you work today. So Kylie's a little unusual for some of the people that we have pimped before, because Kylie is a leader within a customer organization. So Microsoft customer who uses Dynamics 365. Most of us work in consulting or freelance. So Kylie's profile is a little bit different. So maybe they're away with that. Kylie's about section, it's a little dry, a little bit generic, Kylie, and I think could do with some of your pizzazz in there. I know you could refresh this and make it really show off your character. I understand statements like the views and posts shared here are mine alone, not reflect those of my employer. Sometimes we have to add those in, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think the rest of it could just do with a little bit of pimping. What do you think, Amy?
Judge it up. Yeah, it needs a bit of a judge. It's not Kylie, because I've had some chats with her and that's not Kylie. Like you start the photo and she's so bright and bubbly, and then it's like, oh, I've done some dynamic stuff. And she's more than that. She's better.
Yeah, I agree. Featured media, you've linked to some websites. I think the content's probably behind the sign-in page for the Dynamics 365 user group. So they're not showing the images. So it doesn't look great when you're sharing it here. So have a think about how to link to pages that are got a social media post or social media picture. So those pictures appear here as well.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Plenty of activity. Kylie's pretty active on LinkedIn, which is great. Adding some comments and posting and sharing content. Good.
Got 2,000 followers as well. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's a popular lady. I think your experience is great. I love, again, the career progression, good, clear job titles, some nice descriptions. You're using this feature that LinkedIn added maybe a year or two ago, where you can have multiple positions with one employer to show that how your jobs have changed, where you got promoted, which is awesome. Program manager, product owner, really just love it. Nice and clear. I love it.
Really nice.
I'm a big fan of Dynamics 365 rather than D365, but hey, maybe that's just me. And solid education section, licenses and certifications, nice and up to date. Got quite an unusual one, the CRM UG CRM Administrator Black Belt. It's nice to see. Well done.
Never heard of that one. That's cool.
I think Dynamic Communities, the company behind the user groups, put together a really good system administrator training program, particularly aimed at customers, whereas most of the rest of the training and certifications is available, mostly aimed at Microsoft partners. Dynamic Communities did a good job with that program. Yeah. Oh, wow. Look, solid list of certs. Yikes. Some of those are a little old, but we'll forgive you this time, Kylie. Volunteer experience. Love how you've highlighted this section. You're an awesome advocate for the user groups, which is amazing. Technology mentor for girls in tech. And yeah, lots of other volunteer work there.
Wow.
Yeah, don't often see that. So good on you, Kylie.
Yeah, it's all like nicely relevant. And I feel like I feel like I know her better now. Like I feel like she's a real person now. It's really nice.
It brings your profile to life. Good job. And Skills and endorsements are okay. I think they're a little bit scattered. You can choose your top 3 skills and then seek out endorsements for those. Microsoft CRM was a name retired a couple of years ago. Perhaps we can move on. Leadership is a little bit generic. I'd stick with product owner and project manager types of skills and endorsements in the role, Kylie. And even sadder than Brian's recommendations, Kylie, I think you need to be a bit more bold and go on out and ask some of those 2,000 followers you have for some recommendations.
She gave and didn't receive. That hurts.
Well, it's a numbers game, and to some extent you have to give lots of recommendations and you'll tend to receive them, but you can't always get it one for one. But,
yeah.
Kylie, come on. And some good honours, awards, accomplishments. Really, I love how Kylie's used almost all the components that you can use within a LinkedIn profile. Just great. Well done, Kylie.
She's really maximized all the space. Like it's really, she's done good. So I spoke to her like a week before and she said she was going to go fix stuff and I told her not to, and I don't know if she has or not, but wow.
You know what, Amy? I have a sneaking suspicion people are pimping up their profiles after they apply to appear on the show. They're listening to our YouTube advice and they're tidying up their profiles before, in case they get pimped. These profiles are getting better and better and harder to improve. What do you think?
Definitely, yeah. They're doing like a pre-pimp for the real pimp and then post-pimp.
That's right. Yeah, it's all good. Everybody's lifting their game. It's a great use of the contact section there, Kylie. You've got your Twitter handle. You've got websites, including your new, I think it's reasonably new, your YouTube channel. So everybody go and visit Kylie's profile, click through to her YouTube channel. She needs 100 subscribers so that she can rename the channel with a friendly URL. So go and do that for her, please. I really like it. Really solid profile. Oh, I'm going to go 8.5 for Kylie. She's just slightly in front there of Brian. What do you think, Amy?
Yeah, it's ahead of Brian's. It's just a little bit more. It's got a bit more personality. So it's going to have to be a 9. She can have my 9. Yes.
Great. Wow. That's 2 awesome scores. 2 great LinkedIn profiles. Oh, getting tougher and tougher to pimp them.
I know. What a great show, though. I want to remind people, though, that we need to reel in some more subscribers. So obviously, I know we've had a lot of people that have signed up, and we'll leave a link if other people want to get their profile pimped. But we also want you to subscribe to the channel, and we will be back again, I guess, same time next week with 2 more awesome profiles who hopefully haven't pre-pimped. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week, Amy.
Thanks Neil. Much.